You are now tuned in to We Invest Different Podcast, where we have high-level conversations. I'm Mr. John Michael Best.
And I'm Victor Thomas II.
Let's tap in. On conversation number 39, we discuss chasing. Why do we chase things outside ourselves so often? Why do we have to wait till we receive something material to be happy, to have peace, or have joy? What's the cause of this? Tap in. Welcome to another conversation of We Invest Different Podcast. I'm co-host Mr. John Michael Best.
And I'm your other co-host, Victor Thomas II.
And how you doing, King? How you doing today? How you feeling? How was the week? What's going on with you?
Oh, man, I'm good, man. Feeling good, man. Feeling real constructive, man. Had a couple of constructive days these last couple of days, so just basically looking to keep that momentum going, man. Feeling real good about that, man. How about yourself?
Same, man. Same. Last few days been real high level for me as far as like my faith, my trust, my confidence in God is like these last couple of days he's shown me some things as far as like my faith. So like I'm still in a high vibration right now, even though I got a couple negative things that I could feel a way about, but like I'm learning to be present, and I'm also learning to let go of things I can't control. So as of now, man, I'm feeling great. I'm feeling so great.
That's good to hear, man. I can see it. I can hear it on you, man.
That's a blessing.
Mm-hmm.
It's a blessing.
Mm-hmm.
Man, what I wanted to tap into today, man, was something that's very powerful, and I feel like it needs to be talked about. And that topic is like chasing stuff, like chasing things outside of ourselves. And I really want to dive into what that actually means, because I personally used to do this. Like I used to deprive myself of experiencing certain things until I get a certain material thing first. Like I used to say, man, I won't be at peace until I retire my mama.
Yeah.
So you're like, I'm literally depriving myself of something good in hopes of getting something material to then give myself the freedom to have that emotion. And it's like, how am I acting? How am I acting like I'm a God by thinking like that? How am I acting like I'm a believer in God by thinking like that? So if I have to see, he gave us dominion. So with me saying that I have to actually chase something outside myself or have to wait to receive something to feel a certain type of way, it's me really saying that I have no control over anything, and that everything that I will gain, I have to go out and get it, because it's outside of my control. It's outside of my it's outside of my ability of manifestation. So that I think that's really powerful, bro. So tap into that. Like, why do we chase? Like, do you feel like it's because we don't know who we are, or like what do you think that like what's that mindset come from? Like, let's tap in.
I think it really come from envy, bro. You know, we sit back and watch stuff happening for other people, and now we feel like, oh, I want that too. That's what I think the root of it is.
The root of like chasing?
Yeah. Because I firmly believe that what's for us is for us. You dig what I'm saying?
Right.
But when we get to looking at other people's lives, we start to subconsciously be like, oh, I want that for me. You know what I mean? But that might ain't necessarily be for us. Like, we might get what they got and be miserable with it, but it look good because, you know, we seeing it and we seeing it look flashy and all that stuff. But in all actuality, what's for that person may be tailored, custom made for them. And if we try to put it on, it ain't gonna fit. You dig what I mean? So I think that we end up seeing other people have a certain success. You know, like you said, you may have seen somebody that retired their mom. I ain't saying that's what happened, but just, you know, piggybacking off that example of wanting to do stuff, and then, you know, we end up trying to pursue it relentlessly. And like you said, sometimes we end up sacrificing ourselves because we heard of somebody else doing it or being able to do it.
Damn, that, yeah, I like that. I appreciate you for going there, because like you kind of explained, you took it a little further, which made me come to this point. Like, what I'm saying is like, okay, you're saying that us looking at somebody else's lifestyle gave us the inspiration or the desire to want what they have, and to go along with that. I'm thinking like, okay, I feel like the whole mindset of wanting material things came from, the world of, the pride of life, and, the lust of the world and the pleasures of the world. So it's like you just said, when we looking at the lifestyle of the world, and, the world isn't our identity. That's not who we are.
Right.
The world isn't who we are. So I think we got further and further away from who we are, which causes us to chase things outside of ourselves. Because in the beginning, when we had dominion, we didn't have to chase anything. Everything was at our fingertips. Everything was at our feet. So, but when we started, when the world came, which, I mean, it's dirt. Let me put it like that. When dirt came, which is, the flesh, when sin hit the earth, I feel like that's when the mindset of self-reliance came, independence came. We started relying on our own capabilities instead of the power of God. So that made me wonder, right? So I'm gonna ask you this question. It's not really a question, it's really a statement, but we could discuss it. Now, would you agree that spiritual ruin comes first before physical ruin?
Well, I would need for you to elaborate on what you mean by spiritual ruin and physical ruin first.
Okay, now who we really are is our soul, our consciousness, and our spirit, right? So that's what's internally leading us, whether we are conscious of it or not. You're really your spirit, not your body. So in my opinion, my perspective is that your physical body could only be a result of your spiritual consciousness. So if your flesh, if everything in your physical experience is negative, then that means underneath the physical is spiritual. Something is happening.
Yeah, I can see that. But the only thing about that is, I can't say that, because like we can have a physical ruin, but that doesn't necessarily mean that we are in spiritual ruin. You get what I'm saying? Because bad stuff happening doesn't mean that your spirit is in the wrong place. Shit just happened. You dig what I'm saying? Sometimes. And a lot of times we might be, I've experienced where my spirit is going to a better place, and then bullshit happens. But see, I've recognized that that's me growing. You feel me? So when it comes to the spiritual ruin coming before physical ruin, I can see that being the case in certain instances, but not all instances. You feel me?
I can see that, but I also see that, every situation that comes up in the physical realm isn't ruin. So like, even if you have a bad situation that come up in life, it might not even be ruin, because like I said, situations that come up in life is sometimes it's just life. You know what I'm saying? Things happen in your life.
Right.
But when I say spiritual ruin and physical ruin, is what I mean is like you're leaving life. Like you don't have much life in your life. You don't have much good in your life. You don't have much productivity in your life. It's really just all negative. I don't believe that a person's physical experience can be negative, and their spirit is positive.
Yeah, I can see that. But I think a big part of that is how we receive whatever's happening in the physical.
Exactly. But how you gonna perceive what's happening as a physical? Wouldn't you think that goes according to your consciousness of what's going on.
For sure.
So that's what I'm saying. So like, I feel like, okay, since we lost ourselves spiritually, it's causing us to search so much for ourselves physically. So I feel like if we find ourselves spiritually if we have spiritual enlightenment from God, right? The source of everything, all-knowing being, all-knowing energy. If we have an enlightenment with him, I think it would influence us on the physical realm to take dominion back, because God is everything. So if we are aligned with the source, which is everything, we would then realize who we are and realize that we have everything. And just because you don't physically touch something don't mean you don't have the dominion over it. You can have dominion and power over something without physically touching it. That's why you can actually go up in your mind, which is the spiritual realm. You can go in your mind and actually feel stuff and experience it in real time.
Real talk. I think one example of that. Go ahead. I ain't gonna cut y'all.
I'm about to stop and let you go ahead and take it. But to finish that point, is that's the reason why I feel we chase, is because we don't know who we are. Because if we knew who we were, we would understand that we don't have to chase anything. Everything that we have, everything that we'll ever have, everything that we ever want, need, and desire is all in our dominion. Only thing we have to do is be there. Like, be there spiritually. Be there spiritually, because spirits rule. The spirit energy rule everything. Like, without the spiritual realm, the physical realm wouldn't exist. Because in the beginning, God said, let there be light. That started, like, it all started spirit first. You see what I'm saying? Like, before creation, before it's actually physical, it was in the form of a thought. It was a word. It was a frequency. It was you see what I'm saying? So like, before something was actually physical, before there was a physical realm here on earth, there was spirit. So I think we have to get aligned back with the spirit. So then, like, we won't even have the mindset to chase, because we're going to be so content, because we believe that we already have what it is that we need, like everything that we need.
Yes, sir. And that's the God-honest truth. And I'm glad you took it there, because that's what I was thinking, bro. I think that'd be a big issue. We don't know how to be content, man. And that, in my opinion, turns into not being grateful. And that's a spirit on itself. That's a spirit on its own that can just prevent us from receiving whatever we want, not being grateful for what we got already. And I think a powerful tool to help to combat that I learned when I was in rehab was to have a gratitude journal. You feel me? And just periodically, I guess they told us, like, every day, write down like 5 things you're grateful for that day, and do it every day. You feel me? And I think that'll help a lot with that contentment. Because, man, me personally, man, I've been diving deeper into the whole contentment clause, or idea rather. But man, the more I do it, the more I just look around and be like, dang, man, like, I'm in a good spot. Like, I'm in a good spot. Like, yeah, I do want more, but man, when I really look at stuff, bro, I cannot complain, bro. You feel me? Like, based on where I've been and where I done came from and stuff God done got me through, bro, I'll be insane and crazy to sit here and complain, bro. And I think that's something that we miss, man. We get so caught up, and I think, like I said before, we get so caught up in seeing what other people got and what other people doing, and it's like it downgrades our perception of our own life. And now we think, oh, we ain't got shit because we ain't got that. And then because we feel that way, we gonna continue to not have shit and feel that way. You feel me? But at the whole time, we got everything.
And we really do. And I really want to bring it home, because it's like, just because I feel like, okay, that, like I said earlier, there's nothing that we desire that is not already ours.
Right.
So it's purpose.
Yeah.
Like,
And
it's
it's
all about purpose. Go
yeah,
ahead.
looking deep into it too, man. Like, cause it's like I think a lot of times we even pursue stuff as a purpose because we saw somebody else doing it. You feel me?
Facts.
But when we really get to the place and we tap into our own purpose, you will look around and be like, I got everything I need. I got everything I need to actually pursue this purpose and reach that success I want. We be having the seeds right there with us, bro.
Exactly.
The seeds be right there.
Because your purpose is what you literally was born to do.
Exactly.
And it's like these jobs don't give you that fulfillment because it wasn't what you was born to do.
Don't tell
Like,
you.
these jobs was created by people, which created a system for that job, created an ecosystem and an economy for that job. So it fuels the whole system of the world. So like that throws off the whole belief of God. Like, we're not supposed to be slaves to anything. That's what I'm saying. That's why we got to come out of her and really truly get back to depending on God, because he said, seek ye first the kingdom of God and all these things will be added unto you. And so that's why the reason, like, I've been practicing living in the moment, because tomorrow is not promised. I'm literally internalizing it now.
Real
Like,
talk.
tomorrow is not promised. So I'm not even, so when I find myself saying like, oh, I'm gonna save this for tomorrow, no, I'm gonna eat this shit.
Hey man, one thing your mama told me a while ago. I love peach tea, bro. Like, that's probably like my favorite hot tea to drink. Peach turmeric tea, bro. It's junk off the chain. And I was trying to save it. This back when I was on the farm, you feel me? And I was trying to save it. And she was like, well, you saving it and not drinking it is just like you not having it.
Damn, that's
right?
deep.
So yeah, man, we got to enjoy our blessings in the moment, bro. That's so heavy, man. That's so heavy. Enjoy it. It's there.
That was a hell of a sentence.
Man, and your mama said it's so simple, bro. Like it wasn't nothing. And I was like, damn.
Look how we do that to ourselves. Like, we do that to ourselves a lot. I do that to myself a lot. Like, you have something that you want and you won't even enjoy it because you're so worried about what you're not going to have in the future. That don't even exist. Like, your future don't exist without the present.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, like, past don't exist in the present, but the future is in the present.
Facts. Always.
So it's like you can have the present without the past. You can have the present without the past, but you can't have the future without the present.
Facts. Good talk.
So it's like the present is so fucking powerful because it's your future.
Mm-hmm.
Past ain't shit. Past and can't never be nothing but the past.
That's it.
You can pretend like you can try to bring it present, but present is always gonna be present. You can never intertwine present with past. You either in the present or you in the past.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like you can try to bring past into present, but you're not in the present if you're in the past.
Real talk. And I know sometimes real talk. And I know sometimes like a lot of them negative thoughts be from past experiences. You feel me? Something that happened maybe even 5 minutes ago.
Talk, sir.
And I know one thing that really helped me with that is telling myself, man, I ain't even on that. Telling myself, you know, those thoughts aren't who I am.
Amen.
You know what I mean?
That's it, King. That's it right there. Like, those thoughts is not who you are. And that's so true because the mind is in the spiritual realm. And there's no thought that you will have that hasn't been had. So it's like a radio. It's like a radio. So it's like the thought frequencies that you get, like spirits are real. Like when we think evil, that's a spirit influencing us on the spiritual realm.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So it's like, you know, things are, it's real. So
yeah, and that influence, man, it can be a great attack, man. Cause boy, I know it be times where, you know, them negative thoughts come or that frustration come, But that's that. I look at it as just what you call it, a growth, an opportunity to grow, man. You know, it ain't all bad. I mean, I really like to correlate it with spiritual attacks. You feel me? But
I agree. And what you think about this? Okay, before we go to a segment, I want to talk about this. Now, detachment. Since we talked about chasing, like, because chasing is always, chasing is like that thing that you chasing. If it's running away from you, it's saying, I don't want to be with you. Like you're subconsciously saying that this thing don't want to be in my possession, but I'm chasing it, like I'm running after it, and it don't want to be in my possession. So that whole mindset alone is you saying that you're chasing something that you don't have control over. So when you say, okay, I don't want to chase, let's talk about detachment to manifest.
That's a new one. I ain't heard that before.
See, this is just a philosophy and a perspective that I've come on to everybody that's listening, and to you, King. Right? Yeah. This is only just a perspective. Like I feel this is what I've been working on, like detaching myself from everything, money, everything. Do not get emotionally attached to anything physical. That's what I've been working on, being spiritually strong enough to detach myself from anything physical. We're not supposed to be emotionally connected to this world. We're supposed to be emotionally connected to Christ. He's supposed to have our heart, our consciousness, our emotions, our mind, our spirit. So it's like when we allow these physical things that are controlled by the world, these things can be gods. So we have to understand what we're doing when we chase them. It's almost like the gods of the world. It's like the other gods is dangling stuff in front of our attention. I won't even say eyes. Because eyes is physical. These gods is putting things in front of our attention and focus.
Our hearts, man.
That's it. Yeah. It's connected. It's all connected, bro. You know how they say the eyes is the pathway to the soul. What are we watching? It's going into our eyes. It's going into your consciousness. That's why it's the eyes. The eyes is the pathway to the soul. The soul is your consciousness. So what you watch, what you hear, all of this stuff is going to be generated to your consciousness. It's going to be downloaded to your thought frequency, which is your consciousness, which is your soul, your being, who you really are.
Right. And I don't think we put enough emphasis on that truth, man. Because it's just so normal, you feel me, to take in so much, I guess, negative stuff. But it's the norm.
It really is the norm. It's really society, bro. It's the environment. But detaching, right? Working on detaching. Back to the point, like detaching in order to manifest, because when you detach yourself from anything physical, that means you open a door to receive everything spiritual. Because you're removing yourself emotionally and spiritually from this world, even though your physical body is still here. So like your desires, you don't even want this shit in this world no more. Because you have reached a whole nother level of enlightenment to understand that wealth is in the power of where your spirit lies, where your belief is, where your heart is. It's the power lies in God. So it's like when you understand that the power lies in God, you understand that there's nothing you can't do, nothing you can't achieve, nothing you can't have. Right. And the thing about having all of that, you realize that what stuff really is. You see the truth. Spiritual enlightenment shows you the truth and what things really are. That's why when most people reach spiritual enlightenment, they start wanting things, because they understand. They start seeing that things are really nothing.
Real talk.
CEO here. tapping in. I just wanted to remind all of our supporters and all of our listeners to share our podcast and encourage everybody to subscribe and get these great conversations. Back to the show. Because you can have things, and that's why I'm getting to. This is how you be able to be a billionaire, but not allow money to change you. This is how you get to that place. This is how Solomon was able to get all of the riches and be the richest man to ever walk the planet. This is how, because he didn't, in his heart, he didn't care about material things.
He wanted wisdom.
Exactly. Enlightenment. And that's why I said spiritual enlightenment will come first, and then you will have enlightenment in your physical realm. But it has to happen in your spiritual. It has to happen in your mind. It has to happen in the spirit first. It has to happen in your consciousness first for it to transform and manifest in the physical. But people keep always making it seem to be about manifesting material things. And it's like, those aren't the things that you should be trying to manifest. Like, the real things we should be trying, like the real thing, it's we don't even really have to try to manifest, bro. It's there.
I don't tell the story then, cuz.
Like, when you say you have to manifest something, that means you just got a high level of unbelief. Because like the moment you believe, the moment you believe, you manifest it right then. It's right now. So if you want something and you haven't manifested it, you still got some doubts. When you come completely out of doubt, fear, and worry, that's when you will manifest everything in a moment.
So how would you explain doing that? Coming out of fear, worry, and doubt. How would you explain doing that?
You got to be connected more to God. You got to be more spiritually minded. And I'm not, like I said, this is my perspective. I'm not saying that my way is, I'm not saying that this has been voted the number one way to do this.
Right.
This is from my knowledge and from my observation and from my experiences that I've been working with the last week or so. I'm just saying that of course it takes practice, because we live in a world where today's world is designed for you to not pay attention to yourself or to God. So you have to detach. That's why I said you have to detach to manifest. Because if you don't, that's why you have to fast. That's why you have to take some days off from watching TV. You have to not listen to shit. You have to meditate. You have to detach. Because if you don't detach, you will still keep feeding yourself the poison, that's keeping you from realizing who you are. Like, I understand the saying now, when folks used to say, "Oh, we gods." I didn't used to say that. I didn't used to believe that. But in a way, God gave us, what is a God? First of all, what is a God? God is an authority. He is a spirit, but I'm talking about the term God. I ain't talking about God. I'm talking about the term God. For something to be categorized as a God, it has to have power to control. And that's what God gave us. So in a way, we're not him, but we are gods. Meaning we have power to control. We got dominion over shit.
I believe we got that dominion. But I don't believe in calling ourselves God. Simply because my idea of God, me personally can't individually do that. What God does. You get what I'm saying? Like, God, my God, the top King of Kings, God knows what's going on in Florida right now. I don't know that. God knows what's going on the moon right now. I don't know that. God knows what's going to happen tomorrow. I don't know that. So yeah, I got power, but I can't say that I'm a God, because my interpretation of God is all knowing, all being everywhere at one time. And me in this physical experience, I'm not able to accomplish that. So yeah, God does dwell in me, yeah. But I can't
So
say and call myself a God.
okay, I did say this, King, that I wasn't saying that, we are God. I'm saying that we are a God because, like, I'm talking about the term into what a God is. Like,
Mm,
God did give us the power. That's why I say he created us in his likeness and in his image. So he did give us a form of himself. We didn't get fullness because we're not him, but we are a creation of God. So he did create something and gave them the power to do certain things. So that's why I say, like, we are a type of God, the same way, Satan is a type of God. He's not God, but he's a type of God because God has allowed him to have some type of control.
see, me, my thing be I be looking at like
Money too, bro.
if it ain't God, then any other God is a foreign God.
It is, but it's still a God. You got to understand, like, it's one true God, one all-powerful, all-knowing, all-omnipotent God, but he's not the only God. If he said, you said kings of kings, right? You said kings of kings, Lord of lords. How can you be kings of kings if you're the only king?
Good point. Very good point.
So it's like God is not alone, bro. He didn't create. That's why he created the world and created the powers that be, so he wouldn't be alone. He said he searched and found nobody greater.
Mm.
You see what I'm saying? So, like, man, we're gonna get too deep, but we want to keep the topic. But yeah, bro. I was gonna go a little too deep right then because
But I
I
just
was
want
going.
to say this. I want to say this though, because you ain't going too deep. You going with the spirit leading it, bro.
You're
So I
right.
don't even question that. But what you saying makes sense because I remember somebody told me once that your God is whatever you make it. Your God could be money. Your God could be cars. I mean that whatever that you'll go to lengths for, whatever you'll dedicate majority of your heart to, that's your God.
That's it, brother. That's it. You just said it. That's it, brother. That's it. Because money controls people.
Mm-hmm.
That's how we just talked about the term God, the power to control.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm saying. See, money has the power to control. Anything that has the power to control you has the possibility of becoming a God if you give it the power to.
Right.
Like people bow down to images. They bow down to sculptures. They bow down to idols that they created themselves.
Right.
What sense does that make? But
Yeah, this sounds crazy when you say it like that. I ain't never heard it that way.
like they created this stuff themselves, but call it a God. But but like you just said, you can make anything a God. That's a prime. And that's another example.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can make anything a God, but the true God there could be no other. You see what I'm saying? Like because he's the creator of all these other gods.
Right. And that's the thing to attach to. I remember you were talking about detach from all this stuff and attach to that, man.
Yes,
That's the
sir.
key, bro.
The
That's the
source of
key.
everything.
Facts, man.
So, man, this is such a joyous conversation, but we're gonna go to our next segment of what you learned, and we always end up saying what we just talked about because, like, sometimes we be revealing some shit, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm not even gonna lie. I asked the Lord to anoint me, to like anoint me and enlighten me and help me with my understanding. When I'm talking, when I'm presenting, when I'm, whatever I'm doing. You see what I'm saying? Like, I want to be in the spirit. You see what I'm saying? But I have to render that. I have to render that to him. I have to give him the opportunity for that. So
Right.
that's what I've been doing the last week or so. And man, God has been moving in my life because of my belief and, you know, me saying what I want from him and actually trying to get there, moving in that action. But
Mm-hmm.
going to our next segment of what you learn, let's tap into something that we learned, bro. Like let's try to get a little different. Like, I don't want to go back to the conversation that we just had, but I do kind of want to tap into something that we can draw from, like draw something from something. Draw something from something.
I learned that sometimes God will put you through a situation, and then you make it out of it. Like you learn how to, you learn how to deal or get through the situation, and then you may think you're done with that situation, but then you end up running across a person that had that same problem you had. And I'm learning that that's the way that God uses us. And I'm learning that in real time, and I'm gonna be transparent. Like you know how yesterday. Do you mind if I talk about yesterday? First of all, our text messages and stuff a little bit.
Man, go ahead, brother. If it's gonna bring some type of enlightenment to somebody, I'm all for it.
Word. So like, you know how like you got like kind of like a little temper cub that you're working on.
Yeah.
I'll be the same way. You feel me? I'll be the same way. And really, bro, I'm looking at you and seeing me for real, for real. And I'm learning that I went through it so I would know how to help you, cuz. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing that in real time. That's what I'm learning. Because, my first mind would be to, get back upset and frustrated. You know what I mean? But my lady told me yesterday, she was like, she started, when I was kind of like expressing my frustrations, she started smiling. I'm like, what you smiling for? And she was like, that's how God works. You see, you get through something, and then he gonna put you somewhere to help somebody else out.
Amen, brother.
Mm-hmm.
And that's crazy that you brought that up, because that's what I wanted to talk about as far as what I learned. Because I'm learning to communicate, bro.
Right.
And like, I'm learning the type of emotions that I want to have and I want to live with, and what I don't want to live with. I don't want to live with anxiety all the time. I don't want to live with fear every time somebody try to give me some advice. I don't want to live with, communicating with somebody and I gotta always yell and be out of character.
Yeah.
Like, I'm tired of being a slave. And I'm no longer doing that. I'm freeing myself from everything.
Amen.
Because it's truly the reason for our depression, man. The reason for our anxiety, the reason for all of this stuff is because we holding on to something.
Right.
We don't know what that is, but we have to find it out. We have to figure it out. Everybody got a personal responsibility to figure that out, but we're holding on to something. But we have to figure out what it is we actually want to feel, because we know that depression is something we don't. Anxiety is something that we don't. So what do we want to feel? So you got to figure that out. And you have to actually get into that emotion. What gets you there? So it's like, you really have to do some digging. You got to do some digging, and you know what I'm saying? That's what I've been doing, like reverse engineering, like paying attention to myself.
Right.
And also, like I said on the last podcast, like forgiving the past, like forgiving and forgetting certain shit. Because you have to. Certain people, like I was on a live, and one of the peoples in my squad was talking, and the queen mentioned, not being able to forget. We tell ourselves that. We tell ourselves, oh no, I can't forget that, or no, you'll never be able to forget that. Then we tell ourselves that, like, these traumatic experiences that we have, we'll tell ourselves, no, I never forget that. Even if we say we healed from it. Oh, I healed from it, but I never forget
it. Yeah, real talk.
But you don't truly heal until you forget. So you're truly clear of that experience. That means that you can even bring up a similar situation and that experience and that emotion would not arise. That's real freedom. You're really detaching yourself from the past. You're detaching yourself from the future because the present is the future. So it's like when you are in the present, you literally block out the past. Like you have to religiously be in the present, bro. You have to do that shit like it's crack.
Real talk, bro. You ain't lying, bro. You was not lying. Constantly. Shit, I know one thing I do is when I get to going getting into the past thoughts and stuff, I'll just look at the room. I look at my hand or something. You feel me? Like, okay, this why I'm at. You know, real talk. Cause it's like you almost travel back in time, bro.
Yeah, bro.
Feeling it and everything.
Now hold on. Now that's powerful. Now let's not let that shit laugh away. Like you just said something real deep. You said something about time now. How did you go?
It's like you travel back in time in them thoughts.
Talk your see, man. We getting deep. See, that's what I'm saying. I see this shit in my mind, bro. Time travel is real. See, people think this shit is fake. No, you time travel in your mind because your time is not real.
It's made up in our minds.
If time is real, right? How can you feel something in the future?
I'm telling you.
You can think about a future. You can think about some shit that you just pondering in your mind. Like, okay, you can think about what you want your future to be, right? In the present. You can think right now what you want your future to be and feel that shit right now. So how is the future real? The future is not fucking real. There is no time, bro. So if there's time, why does spirit live forever? Why is the spiritual realm eternity? The physical realm is the only thing. Things that you see is the only temporary thing. So I'm saying when we detach ourselves from the physical realm, we get into eternity where, bro, in abundance, there's no lack. So in eternity, there's only abundance.
Makes sense.
But of course, you got powers that be in the spiritual realm that, you have death and only death, no life. That's hell. People keep thinking that hell is like a physical, visible place. Like hell is just absence of God. Like God is life. The absence of God is death, just darkness. So hell is an eternal darkness and eternal death forever. But your spirit can't die. Remember that. Your spirit don't die. So that's why it's eternal death. We talking about death, but you can't die. See, that's a little too. We ain't even gonna see that what I'm saying, bro.
I got you though.
But I'm saying though, like, man, this shit is powerful, and I just think that we should pay more attention to it instead of being fearful of it. Like we gotta tap into it instead of being fearful of it, because the Matrix will make you fearful of God. It'll make you fearful of church. It'll make you fearful of all of these things that could potentially help you. Like make you fearful. That's why they took God out of everything. Because when you take God out of everything, what's left?
Real talk. Man.
Because you can't control as long as God's name is attached to something, you can't control it. Because God got the power. You got to take his name out of it. You don't even want his name said because his name is so powerful. Let me stop here, man. Going on to our going on into our last segment of the day, you guys. Which is the financial theme of the month. And we already know for the month of November, it has been faith. I want everybody to apply faith to their finances. How do you do that? It's by not worrying about it.
Yes, sir.
How you do that is about giving everything to God.
That's right. That's right.
And also too, like, I want to give this pointer. you can ask God to help you have faith. Like you don't have to just be in the battle of faith on your own. You can actually ask the Creator, your Father, nigga, he yours, to increase your faith. Lord, I want to be closer to you. God, I want to be closer to you. I want a better connection with you. I don't want to be so worrisome. I don't want to be so stressed out when I don't have money. Lord, help me to come to a place where I can believe that you have everything that I need, even if I don't see the money in my bank account, even if I don't feel the cash in my hand. Lord, give me the belief and the power and the faith to internally believe that everything that I truly need, you have it. That's faith.
In Jesus' name, amen. I just received that, bro. That was a prayer.
I prayed that. I was praying that.
Okay. Yes, sir. That was a good one.
Thank God. But man, anything else you want to say, King, before we get out of here?
Oh man, man. Great episode, man. Conversation, rather.
Man, great conversation. And yeah, brother. Thank you guys for tuning in for conversation number 39. And we'll see you guys for conversation number 40. We definitely got some guests coming soon. I'm getting those organized right now. Like I said, we're gonna tap into some life insurance, which is some great knowledge to have, because in the melanated community, I don't use black anymore. In the melanated community, death is sure to happen, and it's happening rapidly. And the more people die, we know people be born. So it's like the cycle is going to keep going. So that's one thing we always know. Somebody's going to be born and somebody's going to die. But that person that's living should be preparing for that death day. So it's like we have to be conscious of these things. And the more conscious we are of it, the better position that we can put ourselves as a community, as a family, as a nation within a nation. So with that being said, I'm co-host Mr. John Michael Best.
And I'm your other co-host, Victor Thomas II.
And the Kings is gone.
Peace.
Financial Fashion Network is a platform we have created to host events and build community by creating content that promote personal development, financial awareness, and mental health. And it's our main goal to be a motivating force to everyone in the world. Now, if you want to support our brand, you can go to www.fnfstore.com and you can find our apparel and you can, support the brand. Take a look at our hoodies, take a look at our joggers. It's getting ready to get cold. So if you see something you like, you can actually get 10% off your first order by using discount code FNF10. Thank you.
Are you stressed, anxious, or depressed? Well, here's some good news for you. We started a mental health movement called MH10, and we encourage people to pay more attention to their mental health. So do this for us. Take at least 10 minutes per day to take a walk in nature, a jog, run, or just meditation to decrease your stress, because stress is one of the leading causes of chronic physical and mental illnesses in the body. So if you want to join the movement, you can also post on social media, post your 10 minutes by using hashtag MH10 or Mental Health 10 Minutes.